So, Madam President, the last 10 days have been a shock for our continent, and at the same time, a call for action. Is Europe back?
Indeed, we're living in a seismic shift of the international world order, which has served Europe and also the United States so well for the past 80 years. And we have to be aware that the dividends of peace are no longer there, that the world is changing very fast. But Europe has a very strong standing. We are a superpower when it comes to trade, when it comes to technology. We have very strong partnerships around the world. And so we have to be confident and proud when we are facing the future.
At the same time, there is a valid criticism that Europe is too slow and too constrained by the need for consensus, by the overlap of different institutions. And this is a valid criticism, especially considering the breakneck speed of changes that happen in America now. How do you respond to that?
Well, things have been accelerating also on our side. We saw European leaders meeting last night, reaching quite ambitious and clear decisions. The meetings are taking place very fast. It's true, we're 27 member states, but that also makes us stronger.
The European leaders got the EIB letter, and fresh from their summit, they called your Board of Governors to urgently continue to turn to lending to the defense industry, to reevaluate the list of excluded activities, and to increase the funding on security and defense. So let's talk about the new field, defense. How fast and how big can the EIB help Europe to build its defense again?
The European Investment Bank needs to be part of the solution, and we have already stepped up our support to Europe's security and defense capabilities in the course of 2024. And I am confident, having seen the strong support by European leaders, that in our next board meeting we will get the necessary support to continue to go in this direction while preserving, safeguarding our AAA rating, our strong financing position, because the European Investment Bank is a very important institution to finance large infrastructures, civil protection systems, for example, in Greece, to finance research in Europe, international partnerships, to contribute to Europe's security, competitiveness, and prosperity from a broad perspective. It's not only about defense. And so I think that together with the other players, the European Commission, the European Defence Agency, and national defence ministries and governments, we have a role to play, and we will do it.
I will come back to possible synergies, but I'd like to stick to Greece. How the new framework will affect Greek industries, Greek sectors, Greek defence? Can Greece expect investments on border protection, for instance, which right now takes on its own?
Yeah, absolutely. The European Investment Bank Group is currently assessing 14 projects in very different areas that go from drones to space, military facilities, border protection. And we are interested in getting the projects from the public sector and the private sector with a view to contributing with our financing capacity to reinforce Europe's peace and security.
What is your commitment right now in Greece?
Well, Greece is one of the countries that benefits the most from the financing coming from the European Investment Bank Group. Last year, we mobilized over 6 billion euros in the country. That's more than 2.5% of GDP in terms of productive investments. That has to do with infrastructures. It has to do with civil protection, support to the private sector. And I expect Greece to continue to be one of the countries that is one of our best clients. This is a win-win situation where a European institution can really benefit from the excellent cooperation we have with the Greek institutions.
One of the projects the EIB is involved with and is going to be more involved in the future, likely, is the interconnector cable between Greece and Cyprus. We get the sense that this project is losing momentum recently. What do you expect in order to continue this investment?
There is no news on our side. As I indicated the last time I was asked about this issue, we are awaiting the analysis of the project, the in-depth analysis of the project on the basis of the national energy and sustainability reports from Greece and Cyprus. That will be the basis for our economic analysis of the viability of the project.
And until when do you expect this?
as I said last time I was asked, we are awaiting those reports and those proposals from the two governments.
Okay. Let me move to housing. It is impressive how this problem forms to get identical characteristics even in very different European countries. Vice President Tsakiris presented the first elements of your action plan on housing. What it will entail and how will assist the national efforts on the housing issue?
Yes, in my first year as President of the European Investment Bank, I visited the 27 member states. And one of the most surprising developments I saw is that housing is a challenge over the whole of Europe. Almost all member states have a challenge in ensuring affordable housing, in particular for the younger families, the younger generations, despite the fact that they're very different demographics, immigration dynamics, economic development. So that's why I think Europe can support national efforts in this regard in three different dimensions. First of all, innovation, new materials, new building techniques. Secondly, renovation. Europe has a very broad stock of buildings that can provide these housing capacities. And thirdly, new developments, new projects in the area of affordable and sustainable housing. And what we are doing together with the European Commission is creating a platform so that we can bring together national, public and private players so that we can bring a strong European housing industry.
You spoke earlier about civil protection, resilience, making Europe safe again. The floods in Valencia or Thessaly or Central Europe are not one-off events. Is the new focus to defense spending, defense investments, is going to compete with civil protection, or there is room for synergies? For instance, investing in an army that will be able to assist in a professional way on a natural disaster, in a way take something back in peacetime from this investment that usually is for wartime?
But I see clear synergies. I had the chance actually to visit the Civil Protection Center in Athens last year. I was very impressed and was able to talk to the firefighters, the military, the police, the different, the health emergency services. So it shows the clear synergies there are with the different services that are ready to help and support the population in case of an emergency or in case of war. And I think that's the right way forward. I expect that we will be investing even more in this area in Greece. Overall, we need to make sure that we support citizens, as I was saying, in their daily lives. And from the public sector, there is a sense of protection that has a natural, national, but also a European level.
The Draghi report puts the spotlight in more than one instances to the need for reform of the European Investment Bank. Mr. Draghi said that there needs to be more funding, more risk. How do you respond to that, and whether there are already movement within the bank to address this need for reform?
I welcome very much the Draghi report, which is actually very much aligned with the conclusions of our investment report that we have published this week, based on a survey of 13,000 companies throughout the whole EU, which confirms the three key levers for Europe's competitiveness: integration, market integration, simplification, reduction of red tape and the cost for companies, and scaling up our investment. And the European Investment Bank is trying to contribute on the three fronts: simplifying our procedures, accelerating our time to market, contributing to a better integration of Europe's capital markets, and mobilizing large-scale finance and increasing the riskier investments. We already in 2024 reached a record in terms of higher risk investments, and we want to continue on the same track, but again, always preserving our strong AAA rating, our strong financing capacity, because that is what allows us to provide credits in very good financing conditions to the public sector and to the private sector throughout the whole of the EU.
Thank you very much, Ms. President.
Thank you.